Huggy Wuggy is still alive and he actually survived the fall. And in today's Poppy Playtime Theory video, we're going to be going over 5 good reasons why he's actually still alive and not dead. So remember guys, this is all just a theory. Why did I say Kiri? So without further ado, let's go hop into the very first theory very first evidence is that Huggy Wuggy is the only one of the main antagonists to have an off-screen death. Yes, we all know that Mommy Longlegs, Catnap, and Huggy Wuggy, they all supposedly died. Well, the only ones we know died is of course Mommy Longlegs and Catnap, since Catnap gets stabbed in the head, and Mommy Longlegs literally gets grinded to bits in front of our own eyes. But Huggy is a different case. Huggy falls off, of course, and has the fall, hits a couple pipes down, bleeding, and screams falling down. But of course, another thing to keep in mind is that we never actually got to see Huggy Wuggy dead. We never got to see his body on the floor lifeless. We never got to see him get ripped apart, anything like that. So we have no evidence. So right now, we might have no evidence to show that Huggy Wuggy actually survived the death. So let's go on to, of course, theory number 2. Theory number 2 is a little bit more interesting because theory number 2 is, of course, talking about Poppy. Because in chapter 3, the reason why everybody keeps thinking Huggy's dead now because the one line Poppy said is that we killed Huggy. We killed Mommy and all this stuff. And how we'll know, oh man, we could definitely kill Catnap. But if Poppy was locked up in the case while Huggy fell to his death, how does Poppy know we killed Huggy? Now, we never told her, because us as a player, we don't really talk to Poppy, and Poppy was in the case, disappears, and then she was in the electrical room, and then she guides us until she gets kidnapped by Mommy, and then we free her, then she goes on a train to the playcast. So when did she have a time in between all of that to go down, all the way down to make sure Huggy's dead? I don't think she even know Huggy went down the pipe. She's maybe just assuming because Huggy was meant to be the security in the beginning, so maybe she's assuming if he made it all the way down here, he definitely defeated Huggy. So yes, that is definitely something really interesting to keep intact. But, of course, let's go on to evidence number 3, is of course the fur left in chapter 2. This has been one of the most biggest evidence to everyone thinking why Huggy's still alive in chapter 3, and it definitely still, raises some flags, because we all know in the water treatment zone in chapter 2 of Poppy Playtime, when you have to go make a little Bunzo toy, you can see lots of pipes, and you can of course see lots of different fur, blue fur, with blood on it, and we do know that that definitely does match up with Huggy Wuggy's fur, and we do know that Huggy took a fall all the way down. Down where? Maybe down into the water treatment, who knows? But all we know is that we see fur and blood that of course is from Huggy. And then you can see it crawling into a vent. So it tells a little story with the fur. So this can either just mean 2 different things. One, showing that Huggy survived the fall and is crawling away to hide, regain his strength, stuff like that. Or 2, that the prototype dragged Huggy's lifeless body away after the fall. Exactly what he did to Mommy Longlegs, just dragging the body, let some, blood splaying around. He left some stains there, of course, possibly what exactly happened to Huggy Wuggy. But now the question is, if the prototype did drag him away, what is he gonna do with the body? Well, either one, he can make Huggy part of him, and the prototype kids, just keep collecting all these. He could make him part of him, or better yet, he can rebuild Huggy into a half robot, maybe full robot Huggy. He could just full on rebuild Huggy. Now, what do I mean by this? Well, of course, in the Discord chat, we do know that Zach actually said in chat that he deleted a chat. And what chat he actually did delete was, of course, all over Twitter. It's, we can't stop fighting about how he already deleted this chat. Is one talking about the similarities between, of course, characters in Poppy Playtime to characters in Star Wars. With him saying that the prototype equals Palpatine, Huggy equals Darth Vader, and of course, to be honest, Seth probably hates me for making these analogies. I always fail at these parts in the text. Hey, guess what? This is the halfway mark of the video. If you're watching up to here, that means I am legally required to ask you to please subscribe. If you subscribe, it really just make my day, but we'll try to hit around 50k subscribers before May 7th. The reason is still a secret, but don't worry, it's a really good reason. And right now, we're getting close to around 46k. But if you don't want to subscribe, liking the video, commenting on the video, just continue to watch the rest of the video would also really help the algorithm. And by helping the algorithm, it gets to push this video to more people like you that really want to enjoy Poppy Playtime videos or any other horror game videos. Anyway, sorry for taking more time in your video, and enjoy the rest. So now, let's go back to the interesting part. The prototype and a Huggy. Out of every character, why did he have to include Huggy? And not just that, Huggy is mentioned as Darth Vader, aka Anakin Skywalker, aka the one who supposedly died. He didn't die, he got burnt alive, but Obi-Wan and literally everyone else in the Star Wars universe thought that Anakin died. Like the same way us, the player, thinks that Huggy Wuggy is dead. Just for the prototype that's equal Palpatine, we all know Palpatine goes and rebuilds Anakin's body and, you know, makes him half robot, half human on like life support in a like mechanical suit as Darth Vader. So, what if the prototype, since the prototype equals Palpatine, is rebuilding Huggy, half robot, half alive, for him to come up in future chapters like Chapter 4, Chapter 5, and probably so on. Now, this is of course one of the biggest evidence to support everything else. Poppy never seen him die, so we can't really trust what Poppy's saying. We've seen the blood stains, and we literally have this one chat, but you might say, oh man, he's just making fun, he's just pointing out some sillies here. He did delete the chat for a reason. Either one is saying too much, or two is just confusing everybody to have false theories. But yeah, this definitely just feels a little just in there for what that is. And another one is, of course, evidence number 4 that also helps back this up is when I came up to around the hype for Chapter 3, they kept on referring to Huggy's death to the fall and not his death. Every single dev was on to this. Like, they always kept saying, oh, you mean the fall? Like, oh yeah, during Huggy's fall. I'll put a few chats up here, but everyone kept referring to it as the fall and not Huggy's death. So that just adds more fuel to the fire. And want to know even more fuel to the fire? Knives, yeah, the one trickster in this whole Poppy Playtime community which you can never trust anything from because you don't know if it's real or not. And that case does not slide with, of course, this. Knives recently made a video, like at this point almost a whole month ago, of course over 20 days, of him making a video, Poppy Playtime Forever made us break NDA. Now if you don't know, NDA is just non-disclosure agreement, but in this video it's very interesting because he said that it was so scary it made him break NDA, or I guess made him break NDA. But of course, someone on Twitter, put the user up, says that for those who didn't watch Nye's new video on Partners in Crime, he said that of course he broke NDA and everyone's confused at what NDA did he break? Well, this little explanation says, let me explain. First, Chapter 3, Poppy says, you know, you killed Mommy, you killed Huggy, stuff like that. And of course, they're talking about, Poppy doesn't really know if Huggy's actually dead or not. But Nye said in his video, he's saving his strength for Chapter 4, because he's still alive, you know. So, if this is really the moment that he broke NDA and said something spoiler, do you actually think Huggy's still alive because he said this? Well, of course, I'm just going to answer that with this flat out no. He, of course, already replied saying, here, let me make it clear. Me and the partners did not actually break NDA in the video. We said stuff in the video as jokes. The title is as a joke too. We wouldn't violate the NDA. Because we all know if they did violate something, they will be kicked out of the program, and they don't want to risk that. And one extra thing to add fuel to the fire is that, of course, how would the content creators know if Huggy returns? Content creators get stuff early, like different trailers, stuff like that, but they want to get lore drops early, because one of that gets like ruining the surprise for them actually playing the game. They wouldn't know if some characters return or not. The only thing they would get is more, you know, I guess behind the scene looks, but you know, I don't know. I'm not even a content creator, but yes, it's definitely really interesting to see that. But sadly, only time will really be able to tell. The 5th evidence is just take that as a joke. But yeah, ask me after this video. Let me know in the comments below. What do you guys think? Do you think Huggy is still alive? From all the different evidence we got here, I could definitely say that in my heart, I do believe that Huggy is still alive, because look at all the evidence here. There's so much to prove that he's still alive and going to be coming back, not as a hallucination as he did, of course, in Chapter 3, but coming back as the real Huggy from Chapter 1. But sadly, only time will be able to tell. Don't forget to watch this video, this theory video here. It's pretty interesting, and I'll see you in the next one.